and welcome to another episode. Today we'll be talking about the playoff series. I fucked up. In my in my
Tobias Harris has been running a money laundering scheme since he's gotten that contract. He is so bad.
gives it to MPJ. Heart shot right through the heart, through the skull. Every bullet through. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ridgeway Pod. I'm your co-host Udoy with my co-host Ushmoy, and the NBA playoffs have begun, and 2 games have gone by for all the series actually. So we're just here to talk about what we saw in the series so far, what we predict is going to happen, and just our analysis on all the series so far. So Ush, what do you think about what's been happening with the Boston and Miami series? Let's start off there.
So yesterday we just watched Miami actually take the lead. I mean, tie the series up 1-1. That was a pretty impressive game from them. Honestly, with this Boston and Miami series, I didn't think it was going to be too close. I still don't think it's going to be too close. I think Boston finishes off in 5, but Boston has this weird bozo gene, so they could go to 6. I will say this though. What I've noticed from Boston, and it's two big glaring holes I've noticed on this team that could cost them in the future. I don't think they'll cost them in this series at all. One is coaching. I feel like Joe Mazzulla has this thing about him where he doesn't respect teams like role players or certain types of players or the way teams go about their scheming. Because as we watched yesterday's game, and this happened in the first game too, they just got lucky. He gave open threes to literally everybody. He was playing drop coverage with his bigs with Al Horford and Kristaps, and then he would play this soft contest coverage, so then they wouldn't give up the lane against any of the wings like Caleb or Highsmith, Hero even. Duncan Robinson was getting wide open threes. So they do this thing where they give up so many wide open threes where if a team's going to hit, I think they had Miami had a plus 33 advantage on threes. Mm-hmm. If they're going to do that, you're going to lose the game no matter what. So I feel like Joe just got to, like in the first half, I get it. That's the coverage you played in the second game, but you played in the first game and you found success, but you had to switch it up after they hit. I think they hit 13 threes in the first half. You have to switch it up. And he has this thing about him where he's stubborn to his way. Like he doesn't want to change his way. And then my second point with the Boston Celtics is, I said this all year, Drew Holiday is a playoff, like they say playoff riser. He's a playoff flopper, like he fails when he comes to the playoffs. Right now, his averages are garbage. He's at 7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting 30% from the field, 30%. And he's shooting 36% from 3. He's taking like the most egregious shots I've ever seen in my life. Him, and that's the biggest flaw, him and Derek White backcourt won't work because they're not point guards. They're also not like elite scoring guards. So they don't work that way. But the team does this all lives matter offense where it's like, okay, everybody gets their shots, nobody get mad at anybody. And I'm watching the game, it's fourth quarter, 7 minutes left. Derek White's holding the ball when like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are on the court. You got to give them the ball. Joe Mazzulla has to, it's really late in the season now, but you got to create that hierarchy. You can't keep doing this all lives matter offense. So those are my 2 things that I've seen from this series. I don't think it's going to be a big difference for this series, but going forward it will.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to be honest, it's funny because in the playoff predictions we were doing and the season overview, I was joking about it, but Miami being the boogeyman for the Celtics was something I said. And I really think it's a real thing. It's weird, but it's just, they don't have their number, obviously. I'm not going to say that because it's not like, every time they face off, it's like Boston and Philly when Embiid said, it's not a rivalry. Like, they always beat our ass. Whatever. But like, Miami does it, and Miami looks weaker than the Phillies and the Milwaukees and everyone. Like
100%.
throughout the regular season, like come on, like they have to go through the play-in back-to-back years to like make it this far, like quote unquote this far. So that's the thing. Like I feel like it's a coaching thing for sure, like a coaching, not a mismatch, but kind of, because Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches, and
The
like
best. He's
we
the
always,
best
I
coach.
think this podcast is like, this is the third episode now talking about his coaching and his brilliance. And Joe Mazzulla, yeah, very stubborn, has his ways, and like you know what, psychologically, you know, like he kind of moves like a psychopath, but like
Yeah.
in a good way,
After cycle.
like you need that kind of attitude to like coach a team like the Boston Celtics. But at the same time, it's like you're a coach. Coaching is for adjustments. I'm sure we're gonna get into more coaching problems or you know stuff in down this episode down the line. But like, come on, Joe. Like it's not the playoffs. Well, I mean, it's not the regular season. Whatever you did in the regular season worked. Now it's time for mismatches, for hunting matchups, and like how to beat the opponent in front of you. It's not, you know, it's 4 wins at a time. So Miami now, Eric Spoelstra is game planning for you, your team. You have to do it back at them. You have so much at your disposal, like so much. It's not like, oh no, it's just we're top heavy or something, or it's like Tatum Brown and then the rest is bust. No, it's such a complete team that everyone keeps talking about. Use it. So I think that's like the biggest thing about the Boston Celtics. It's like they can fall asleep, or it's not even fall asleep. They fall in love with the 3-point shot, like
Dude.
and
They
it's
fall
like
in love with it.
so they're giving up the 3-point shot. That was yesterday, and it's like you're seeing them make like 50 something percent from all together as a team. Adjust to that and maybe attack. Maybe I don't know. We're not NBA coaches, so we can't tell you what we see, but like on the court. But what we're seeing on the TV is like telling us a lot. It's like, come on, dude. Like, where's the adjustments? You're just gonna give this game away, and why not go for it? Beat this team up. Rest, get ready for the next. You got to lock in. Like the round one should be cakewalk for you, the Boston Celtics, who's trying to get to the finals. Everyone keeps saying Boston Celtics are going to win the East, and I don't think it's a crazy shout. It's probably the biggest favorites. Oh no, it is the favorites in the
They're
East.
the favorites to win the league, I think. Yeah.
Well, the Nuggets are crazy, but like, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like, it's not a lot. Like, we've seen this story, this matchup so many times. It's entertaining. I'll give you that. You know, and Jimmy is trolling, which is hilarious. And yeah.
Well, yeah, to piggyback off of that, where you were saying the Heat, I think they're missing Jimmy. They're missing a couple of. They're playing. What's his name? Terry Rozier. He's not playing right now. The Miami Heat. They're missing both of them. But like, it's just this. It's like, I get it. You won 65 games. Like, you get to have this arrogance about you. But I feel like that one team where you shouldn't be doing that, because they've beat you, like, and convince, you know, like they've beat you multiple times in the last 4 years, is the Miami Heat. You know, like, you know, and I feel it's just like the same story over and over again with Joe with the coaching. Like, you know, it's the same thing with last year. It's the same story. It's like, at one point you have to sort of give these guys some sort of respect and actually play the game right. And look, when Jaylen Brown at the end of the second quarter, he went on like 11-3 run all by himself. And I'm like, dude, like, this is a thing that's going on in the league, which I'm not a fan of. And I understand, like, superstars can't. It's a team, like, it's more team based than ever right now. You have to have a good team. Like, you know, you can see the Nuggets, like, they're such a good team. But when you watch the Nuggets, you don't see a possession when Nikola Jokic doesn't touch the ball. He's touching the ball. He's coordinating something. He's quarterbacking something, even if he's doesn't have the direct assist or doesn't have the direct screen or not even the direct shot. He's involved in the play. And I've seen a lot of these teams do when we go down the line. I'll mention it. But Boston does it the most. They love doing this thing where they forget that they have Jason Tatum, 27 points per game scorer, and Jaylen Brown, other 25 points per game scorer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't forget these things. You know, when your offense goes stagnant, you got to just go to these players when you have to make a comeback. And I don't even think the offense was a problem yet last night with the Celtics, because I was talking to one of my friends, Jack. We were like, these guys got to go to the paint. They did go to the paint a lot. They actually did get to the paint a lot. The problem is respecting the opposite team on the defense. You have to respect them. If you're going to leave wide open practice shots, all of these guys are going to hit, even if they're not good 3-point shooters. The same thing happened last year with Caleb Williams. He's doing it again.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and
yeah.
now it's with the
Now
Jaime Jaquez
yeah,
and the other kid, Nikola Jovic.
Jovic, yeah, Jovic,
These guys are shooting wide open threes. That's all they practice all day long.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
it's not even a Spo thing. It's like Spo's just like, okay, if they're gonna give you open shots, take it. You're gonna make
yeah.
half of them.
No,
So that's my only point with them.
just to end off the talking about this series, Eric Spoelstra and the coaching staff and the whole Miami Heat organization. Yeah, game one they lost, but they picked up probably so much from that.
100%.
So you should also. Why are you taking it so easily? Like the Boston Celtics as a team, like they're gonna attack what they think is right, like how to beat you. So you should be ready for that. It's not the punch; it's the counter punch. Or like if anything, game one's like a bait, and then it's like there's a sucker punch, and this is kind of like the sucker punch. Yeah.
So, Miami loves doing that 6-minute zone and just throw you off. Like you see it all the time. It's the same story every time. But we'll see how that series goes. I don't think it'll be too close. Other 5 or 6 games. Honestly, if they go 7, that's so bad on Boston. I feel like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's Miami, so that's why people are thinking about stuff like that. But we'll see how that ends up going. Okay. So for the next series, we're going to talk about the Cavs and the Orlando Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So so what do you think about this series?
Honestly, I seen it on Twitter. When we did our prediction video, I did say that it could be close if Cavs, like, the way they're just going down the stretch. But honestly, it's kind of just like the Orlando Magic are such a young team, and they're just kind of getting inexperienced right now.
Yeah.
Also, the problem I've had them all season, they can't shoot threes. Every single player right now through 2 games is shooting 33% or below. I think there's only one person who's at 40%, and he's taken 3 or 4 threes. I think that's only Franz Wagner. He's taking 10 threes. He hit 4. Like he's the only person that's actually shooting anything well.
Right.
Also, Mobley and Jared Allen are such a hard counter to that Orlando team, because you can just play them all game because you don't have to worry about them shooting threes. But I think the series is going. Donovan Mitchell's just doing his Donovan Mitchell thing. He's a playoff right. He's always plays good in the playoffs.
Yeah,
averaging 26 again, 26, 5 and 3. Great splits. So the series is going as it is. Young, inexperienced team. Cavs, has a little bit of veteran qualities. Good first series for Paolo though. 22, 5 and 4.
Yeah, honestly, for this series, it's like I was just gonna say, if it does come down to the wire, I think Donovan Mitchell is gonna just take over and like close the game. He's not looking like he's missing a step right now. Whatever, like he's looking good. Everyone's playing as a unit. I think for the Cavs, it's a good I don't know if it's a feel out series in a way, but it's
tune up series.
Yeah, to just for that next round for all the the Eastern Conference heavyweights that are gonna come up next. So for them, it's just a good series. For Magic, it's like growing pains, I guess you can call it. Like this is first time. This is good for them to learn from. But other than that, I didn't expect much from them in overall. So I think this is, like you said, it's going how it's going, and that's pretty much kind of
just that's not really
to be honest, like analysis wise, it's like
there's not really much going on. It's kind of expected. We kind of seen this coming. You're an inexperienced team, and it's not like they were dominant throughout the regular season. I think they're the 5th seed. That's what the 5th seed is.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like they need to get better, more efficient. Like the 2 guys, Franz Wagner and Paolo. I think Franz shot like 30% from the field, and Paolo is 45%, which is like still good. And at the end of the day, it's playoffs. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, why are you shooting so much and you're so inefficient? Their best players have to shoot more, but it's just like for the young guys, it's just when you see that, it's like they're learning. The defense is schemed against them like totally, like for 4 games minimum. So figure it out, bro. Like that's just
when teams lock in on you like that, it's gonna get tough to score. It's your first series. It's gonna happen. The thing is, it's everybody on that team's first series. Yeah. So they're not gonna know really.
Yeah. So just shout out to them for being here. And I mean, if there's a surprise, we'll talk about it. But for now, I think that's that. So for our next series, what we're going to talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks versus Indiana Pacers. And for this one, I just wanted to start by saying this series, it's fun because you're just like, okay, no Giannis, right? But then game one, Milwaukee just comes out and just like
Dame
throws
goes crazy.
haymakers, and Dame goes crazy. There was a stat where he's like 25 or something in the first half, and then you scored like
No,
no,
he
was
had
it like
30 in the first
30 in
half,
the first?
33
Yeah,
in the first
and like
half, and then he
4 in
didn't
the
score anything
something
in the
like
second
that.
half or
Yeah,
something
like
like that. Yeah.
nothing. So that, and it was cool because it's just like my whole theory of Dame holding it for the playoffs, like the all season he's just holding it in, and it's like, oh damn, thanks man, like you're proving it right here. So that's crazy. Halliburton is like needs to tune up a little, but man, Pascal Siakam, Raptors legend, Pascal Siakam, shout out to him, man. Like you know what is though, like especially last game because they tied
Mhm,
it up and they did it
mhm.
dominantly, like they held off the Bucks. The Bucks kind of like they didn't really adjust to what the Pacers did. So yeah, no, Siakam being the main force of it all, not even Halliburton, it was insane because like, and then just we watched Siakam in the playoffs. Like he's good, he's a great player. He's
Definitely.
proven number two option for a championship run with obviously Kawhi in Toronto, but like that's the thing. Milwaukee can't really play defense. The person that they could possibly put on him if he's going crazy is injured
Mhm,
right now. You know,
mhm.
like no, obviously Giannis isn't going to guard the best player all the time. Like he's kind of like this roaming help defender, and that's how they kind of play it. But wing for wing, he can match up in those moments, and he's not there right now. So we'll see if he's going to return. I'm not sure what his timetable is to return or not. I understand why he didn't play last game because it's like, yo, we were up 1-0. Let me just take another game. So yeah, what do you think?
I think Shams did say that he hasn't even like done any contact. Like he can't even walk, right?
Yeah,
So I
which is scary.
so he could be cooked.
Yeah,
This series is funny. This series is funny to me because okay, there's a couple of teams that you can just get your game off on. Like they won't
right.
make role players beat you. Bucks are one of them.
Yeah.
And the other team is in the Western Conference. It's the Lakers. Those are the two teams, and I think the Nuggets have it as well. They do it too sometimes, but the Bucks love doing this. They will let you get your game off. Like if you're anybody who needs like a tune-up series or like someone who needs to get their stats up against them,
Warm up.
the warm up, especially when you don't know Giannis, you're getting your numbers. This has been the story all season. We've seen how many
Yeah.
times they go down to the wire with Washington and Detroit. It's like 130-point games,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can't really do that against the number one offense in the league. Even if Halliburton's injured or whatnot, they still are the number one offense in the league. And I'm talking to some people, and I was talking about Pascal. I was like, it doesn't seem like Pascal's fitting that well. Wasn't fitting that well when he got traded because, like,
Right.
like the pace and the space that they play with.
Mm-hmm.
But this playoff series, they kind of just like give the
Showing
ball to
out.
Pascal, let him go crazy because there's nobody who can guard him. No, everybody. I mean, Chris Middleton can't guard anybody anymore. Brooke Lopez can't guard anybody anymore. Bobby Portis, he's okay, but he can't guard anybody. Malik Beasley can't guard anybody. Pat Connaughton can't guard anybody. Jay Crowder, you know how I feel about him. That guy, anytime he's on the court, that's a plus for the opposite team. He's just bad. So they don't guard anybody. The Bucks don't. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
They just pray that you're gonna miss or have a lot of turnovers, which Indiana usually does, and they just go from there. But if you're gonna pray like that, you're
Yeah.
not gonna win anything. I think the most significant matchup though is really that Miles Turner Brooke Lopez matchup because Miles Turner is beating Brooke Scullin. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
he's really dominating him this series, and I think
Yeah.
like that makes a huge difference. He's playing really well. He's averaging like two blocks a game right now. I think he's at 27-7-4, 2 blocks a game, shooting 40% from three. Like
Yeah.
it's 2 games in,
Yeah.
I get it, but off those 2 games, like um Miles Turner's playing a great game. But yeah, that series
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. I think that Dame, like if Dame keeps up these numbers, he's at 35 a game right now. If he keeps up these numbers, I think they'll be okay. But with Giannis, like Giannis's timetable is so like unknown right now. Like it might be cooked for them, man. We might
So
see New York in the Eastern Conference Finals.
so the thing is, like, just based off what you said about Milwaukee being like, yo, come here if you want to score and just get some
Yeah.
easy layups, right? it's
Yeah.
funny because Indiana's also like that, like throughout the
Oh,
regular season.
100%. Yeah.
So my thing is like Indiana's gonna go all out offense, and that's
Yeah.
how Halliburton and their whole team wants to run. And then James like so they want to go into a shootout. It's like let's go
Mhm.
band for band, like shootout, right? So now it's gonna come to. It's funny enough we thought it'd be Dame and Halliburton, but here it's Dame and Siakam being
Mhm.
their number one option here. So, but the problem is I feel like Milwaukee's defense, like they don't have those primary defenders anymore. So it's like hard to stop. And it's like, Dame, can you keep up like that this level? Because Siakam and like the thing is, like obviously Indiana, again, I started this saying they don't play as much defense either, but I feel like they have the pieces to kind of bother.
Mhm.
Like, like Siakam,
Well,
if
they
he
have the
wants, they can
wings for
lock, yeah,
sure.
they can like kind of lock in and try to give you trouble, right? So in this case, it's like who's gonna get tired first in a way, right? And it's like, can you hold on? Because if you do a wave of a blitz, trying blitzing the other team can blitz you too, and like it could get erased just like that, your lead. So in this
I
situation, especially because no defense is gonna be played, it feels like obviously tongue in cheek, but yeah,
I just feel like Dame has just become like he's such a good offensive player still, and he's showing it still, but he's just such a liability on defense nowadays. And any lineup with him and Malik Beasley on the court,
yeah,
like I don't like unless they're like shooting lights out, it's always a net negative
yeah,
with them two on the, like so like
right,
covering up for Dame without Giannis is quite literally impossible with the roster that they have.
right, especially
Like
without Giannis, yeah, like
without Giannis, like
yeah,
you can't cover up Dame. You just can't do it.
yeah,
Like, with Giannis, at least like, you play the funnel defense, you funnel them into your 7-footers,
yeah,
limit the threes.
yeah,
But you can't even do that without Giannis because Brook Lopez can't come outside. And yeah, Brook
yeah,
Lopez is a good shot blocker, but he really can't move his feet like that anymore.
right, right,
So
right.
I think that series is
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
interesting.
a
Could go seven.
interesting one. So yeah, we'll see what happens in that series. And the final Eastern Conference series we have is the Knicks versus the Sixers, the blockbuster, controversial, high-profile one. this
Yeah,
one,
that's controversial for sure.
this one is a good one because the Knicks fans are all happy right now. The Knicks kingdom is cooking. Josh Hart may be
Trae
the best
Young.
player of all
Ever.
time, ever. No, it's
Ever.
crazy. Like but
He's
he's such
averaging
a good
14
player,
rebounds a
though.
game.
He's such
14?
a good player, man. Like
Oh, please.
okay, actually, yeah. You know what Josh Hart reminds you of? Josh Hart, the way he plays and everything. Yo, this guy would be sick on the Nuggets. Because you know why? The
Dude,
Nuggets, like
yeah.
he's one of those players, man. They lock in. You want them on your team. It's like Gundogan in
It's
soccer,
like
man.
it's
Like
like
the
Delhi,
utility,
bro. You know
but
what I mean? Like,
but skills there, like everything. But
it's
yeah,
nuts the
man.
way he plays.
But it's been tough for Philly though, because I feel like Philly was there in in the games, right? So they could have
Dude,
took it, but and then Embiid's body, is it betraying him? Is it not? Like what's your take on it?
so first of all, Jalen Brunson is having a terrible series and they're up to nothing. That's one thing. Also, there is a stat that somebody said that Jalen Brunson, when he plays against a top 10 defense, he averages like 23 a game. So you can
Mhm.
take that as you will.
Yeah.
But I feel like just because they're focusing in on him and it's Nick Nurse, Nick Nurse, he will say everybody else will be. He's the opposite where he goes, everybody can beat me, but the superstar. I'm not letting the superstar
Mhm.
beat you. Like he'll box in one. If you're a guard,
Yeah.
he's gonna double you. If you're a post player, if you're in the paint, you're getting tripled. He won't let anybody else beat him.
Mhm.
Number two, Josh Hart, Miles McBride, and Dante DiVincenzo are some of the most insane role players I've ever seen in my life. Like
Yeah.
I always thought Dante was pretty good, especially when he was on the Bucks that year that they
Bucks.
won the ring. But the way he's hooping this season, and I think it has something to do with chemistry with these guys, all the Villanueva boys.
Villanova. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout
So
out to that.
those guys they have great chemistry, and the way that Tom has prepared them this entire season, you're paying 45 minutes. I don't care. The
Yeah.
entire season. That's the trade-off, right?
Right.
But if you have Josh Hart is literally He's quite literally like a power forward. He's like Draymond Green in
Right.
Bradley Beal's body. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the way like he's averaging 14 rebounds a game. You know how nuts that is? 21 and 14. He's
Yeah.
6'5".
6 foot. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
insane. And
Yeah.
then when you have Miles McBride and Dolce DiVincenzo giving you 15 a game, and then you still have OG hooping,
Right.
Bogdanov hooping, Isaiah Hartenstein's your starting center. He's hooping too.
He's so
He's
good.
playing really well.
Mitchell Robinson.
And then
Like they're great. Yeah.
on the flip side, when you have like Joel Embiid looks like he's been like injected with every type of steroid possible. He looks like he's perked up.
Yeah.
He just doesn't look like himself. I feel bad for the guy because it's like he can't even move his feet on defense. So everyone's just blowing past him. The rebounds he cannot jump for. He can't jump for blocks really. When he does, he's like grabbing his knee for the next 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Shout out Tyrese Maxey though, man. What a series. What a first 2 games from him. He's
Most improved player.
dragging that team. Yeah, we call that. Oh, well, you call that. I didn't call that. I didn't even notice the 26 points per game. But he's averaging 34, 5, and 7. Insane splits, 55, 40.
Yeah.
But the problem with the Sixers is Tobias Harris has been running a money laundering scheme since he's gotten that contract. He is so bad. Like I keep tweeting it. I keep tweeting it every time the game happens. What does Tobias Harris do? Not well. What does he do? I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
Like, he's
What is your job description?
Him and Drew Holiday are the biggest scammers in NBA in this new NBA era. I swear to God, they're the biggest scammers.
At least Drew won a ring, you know. Like, when did Tobias?
Drew just got that fake ass new contract, man. That's I know he's going to be traded for it, but that is fake. But
that's the thing. Boston's doing business, but Tobias is doing the business.
Oh my God! Like, Kyle Lowry cannot be your best player. He can't in 2020 in the big 2024. Yeah. Kyle Lowry can't be your best player. Tobias Harris doesn't do anything. Nick Batum, he had that one great game against Miami, and he's back to normal old Nick Batum. He's old. He's gonna be old.
Yeah.
And then
Kelly.
My favorite player to talk about, the Lakers fans' favorite player to trade about.
Yep.
We got to give 2 first-round picks, D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, for Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is so bad. He's so bad. Just because hitting threes is cool. It doesn't even matter in the playoffs. Teams will literally just be like, do anything. I'm not giving you a 3. When a team says they're not going to give you a 3, what use are you then on the court?
Right.
So, like, the Sixers are Joel Embiid is barely himself. Tyrese Maxey is playing at a crazy level, and then everybody else is just bad. And even then, they lost last night, 2 nights ago on that controversial loss. But that was also some of the worst end game
officiating,
end game production from the execution from the Sixers that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that game, we've seen even worse end game execution, but that's whatever. But yeah, like that's my take on the series. Like, the Knicks are just a well-rounded. Everybody's playing well.
Yeah,
and the Sixers, other than Maxey and half of Embiid, that team is really bad, just really bad.
Yeah. Just to quickly like point out, the whole Buddy Hield thing is interesting to me, and I've started noticing this during the regular season. But he's known for one thing, right? Shooting threes. Not even saying making at a like high clip, all that stuff. Like shooting threes.
He makes a lot of them.
The last 2 games though, 15 minutes played, 0 for 2. 11 minutes game 1, 0 for 1. Then before that, he was what was the thing? So that's the thing. Sometimes all of a sudden he lights up, like 4 for 10 against the Brooklyn Nets. But then he's 2 for 4 against Orlando Magic. And it's like, obviously Embiid wasn't playing. Maxey is the main point. And like, you can't tell me Hield is like the second person they're scheming for. I don't think opponents look at Philly and be like, oh, Buddy Hield, we got to stop his threes. Like, maybe we should do like the Lakers should do with MPJ, for example. Like, stop. Don't let him shoot. Make him drive or something. But so that's the thing about Buddy Hield. So it's like, it's kind of like the Tobias question. It's like, what are you doing out there then in that case? And another last point about like my point would be OG still hasn't gone off. Like, we know OG can give you a game, like, but maybe he's just expending a lot of his thing on defense. And it's crazy, like, because he's playing minutes, right? Like, he's obviously they're all playing minutes, but he played like 37 last game, 31 the game before. So Yeah, like what a crazy pickup, and he has yet to give you that offensive outburst, which is probably going to come in the next round. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So like, I just think Knicks are just locked in.
To hop off your Buddy Hield point, it's the
Oh
same
yeah,
point with Duncan Robinson a couple years ago. It's the same point with Malik Beasley. These type of players, it's not that the teams are game planning them. The coach tells these guys, look, run him off the 3-point line. He's useless.
at that point, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like these guys are such specialists.
yeah,
Specialists don't work in the playoffs
yeah,
because teams are just gonna take away your specialty. Now do
yeah,
something.
yeah,
When we get to the
exactly.
OKC series, there's a mid-range specialist on both sides, and you can see which one's actually takes
Yeah,
good shots and which one just taking difficult shots. It's
yeah.
like that. It's like when you're a specialist at something, it just doesn't work in the playoffs. It's never gonna work. It never has worked. You know what I mean? You have to be versatile. You have to be able to do something else other than the one thing that you're good at.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the series is looking kind of bleak for the Sixers, but we'll see, man. Like, I shout out to
They're going
Embiid.
home though.
I don't have anything really thing to say about Embiid because he just doesn't look healthy out there. So it's tough. We wanted kind of a generational series from him doing against the Knicks. This team would be cool to do at least. Like it's like a badge, like an honor badge. But I don't know if that's possible. His
Trae
body,
Young still gets talked about because of the Knicks series. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
those
Like
edits go
you
hard.
you beat the Knicks. You beat the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like it matters. Because
Yeah.
they're such a big brand.
Yeah, anytime you drop 50 on them, right? It's like the
Mhm.
people remember you for that game.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's the Eastern Conference, unless you had
Yeah.
something to add there.
Do you have any? You think there's gonna be any surprises? Like anybody gonna make a crazy comeback or anything like that? I don't think so. In my opinion, I think
Yeah,
everyone who's winning this series is just gonna win this series. Just that the Milwaukee and
that's a
Pacers
teeter
series.
totter. Yeah,
That's the one. I even said it when we did our
yeah,
predictions. I'm like,
yeah.
that series is going to be interesting to watch. And with the Giannis reports, I don't think it could be even more scary for them. But yeah,
No, it's true. It's kind of looking thing, but I could go out on a whim here because part of me thinks that Boston is not gonna just slap them because they just have some weird trials and tribulations when they look at the Miami
sure,
Heat
yeah.
logo. Like they just do, you just go, whoa, relax, bro. And you, like you said, they have like a bozo gene in them. Like
Yep.
it's kind of like funny enough, it's like Arsenal. Like you're just
Yeah,
leading,
no,
leading,
it
leading.
really
Everyone's
is. It
world
really
class,
is.
world class. Then oh
It really
no!
is.
Like randomly,
No,
every game.
it
When it gets
really, it
Zinchenko,
really is like Arsenal.
Zinchenko or Saliba. Oh, I guess Saliba was hurt. Whatever. But like Gabriel, somebody's gonna mess up. Now who's he going to
Declan
be?
Rice.
Oh yeah, like someone's gonna forget how to be a right winger all of a sudden.
Yeah,
So same thing here. It's like,
yeah.
yo,
He's gonna start
Jalen Brown
limping.
just did that. Let's not go back to him. Like, yeah, and it's like Mazzulla and Arteta. Let's overthink at this. Let's overthink this or don't think. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. So, anyways, so that's why I think that this is not really an upset. But you know what? Yeah, Miami, Jimmy Butler comes back, they could upset them.
Also, one
let's
thing.
just be
Last point
funny
about
here.
Miami. Last point
Yeah.
about Miami. You guys always giving the credit to Jimmy Butler. Is no credit to Jimmy Butler.
Not
The
this
only
year.
credit that team for every year, the last 4 years, the only person who deserves credit on that entire organization is Eric Spoelstra. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and this. I told this to my friends the other day. I was like, look, he might not be the GOAT coach, like the greatest coach of all time. With Phil Jackson and Pat Riley and whoever
Pop.
else you want to add in there, Pop in them.
Yeah.
But none of those guys have ever not even come close to doing what he's done with what he's had. Nobody. He's made 2 finals with on just bum teams. Like the only person you can give that to is like LeBron when LeBron did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like when LeBron did it. Like that's how much of an anomaly it is.
Right.
He's my greatest coach of all time, but
the thing is though, like it's like people like you and me
accolades-wise, he's
and
not.
this generation, we've seen him play. It's so unfortunate because he deserves to be there, like up there, right? And yeah, you could argue he's like the best coach right now. He just doesn't have the personnel for it, which is very sad.
I don't think it's even close that he's the best coach in the NBA. It's been like
NBA,
that for a while too. Since 2018, 2020, it's been like that. Like for the last 4 years, he's easily been the best coach in the NBA. And like Mike Malone might be there, but there's a gap. There's a huge gap between the two.
And that's the thing. Mike Malone also has the best player in the NBA, where Eric Spoelstra does not. And the thing about Eric Spoelstra also, I think, like before, obviously we need to move on to the Western Conference ones, but because you're talking about Eric Spoelstra here, just to give him some love, when he had to when he was having Chris Bosh hoop when LeBron left, and Chris Bosh was averaging like 19-20 a game on like crazy percentages, and just like, whoa, this guy's the number one option, like not even like D Wade at that time, right? And it's like he was keeping them afloat before Chris Bosh's unfortunate medical concerns issues started happening. That's when I was like, wait, there's something cooking here, and it was Eric Spoelstra, and he's still going. And yeah, no, shout out to him. Great coach, honestly, an awesome coach,
insane coach.
But yeah, a shout out to Bam also. His mid range has gotten so much better. So that one,
You're trying to make, trying to midi into a layup if you work hard.
That's him. So moving on to the Western Conference, that's the Eastern Conference. I guess we should start with the OKC Thunder and the New Orleans Pelicans, which they just finished game 2 last night, and OKC have a 2-0. Honestly, it feels like a stranglehold on the Pelicans.
It's over.
Yeah. You want to go?
Yeah, I can go. I told y'all OKC, so this is the opposite of the Orlando team. OKC is such an insane team. Let me just name off their starting lineup, their stats in their starting lineup right now. Shea, 34 and 4 on 55 and 37. Chet, 29 and 3.5 blocks a game on 55 and 41 from the 3-point line. We saw the beginning of game 2 last night. JV was going at his chest, and Chet said threes are worth more than twos. He just started raining them. He had 20 points in the first half. And then we have Jalen Williams on 26 and 6 on 51, 25 from three. He's not taking a lot. And then Lou Dort, 10, 2, and a steal a game on 60% shooting from the 3-point line.
And putting the opposition in the Dorcher
chamber. Shout out Canada. Chamber. Shout out Montreal.
Yes.
That, I feel like people don't want to realize that what we're witnessing with this current OKC team, they could go Western Conference Finals. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they go Western Conference Finals. I don't think any team is as well built as them right as of this moment in the West, other than the Nuggets. The way they move, the way they play the ball. Shea got hurt at the end of the season. This was my biggest thing that I saw last night when I was watching that game. Shea got hurt at the end of the season, and Mike Dagnall automatically for the last month of the season, he went to this thing with Jalen Williams bringing up the ball. Like Jalen Williams, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, he always starting with the ball. He runs all the actions on offense now.
Yeah.
And it's because of Shea's injury where he's not as ball dominant. Shea right now, we watching the series, all of his points are coming in spurts right now, and he's still averaging 30 a game because he always averaged 30 a game.
Yeah.
On the flip side, the Pelicans, we talked about this when we did their Pelicans preview in our first episode, and Zion, the fact that Zion missing.
Yeah.
The Pelicans, CJ McCollum and Brendan Ingram, if those are your two best players.
Yeah, I was gonna go in on that. Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. And then my last point, then I'll pass it off to you.
Yeah.
When you watch Shea and you watch even J-Dub, but Shea last night was hitting the craziest shots ever. Like some of the nut shots. But when you look at when you see Shea get into shots, these are it looks and feels like these are his shots. Like this is what he wants. It's kind of like a KD thing. When KD and the Warriors, when Pat Bev would play him so well, blah blah blah, and you just shoot over him and splash it. Like it's kind of like that, where it's like, you're not really playing defense on him. He's just kind of doing whatever he wants, and he's letting you stay in front of him.
Right.
And every time, Pelicans are doing this really nice, good thing, but they messed it up like 40 times last night, where like they'll have their like JV or Larry Nance play that short corner. So then anytime Shea likes to go on the angle drive when he gets that quick first step,
45 kind of
45 drive, when he gets a quick first step on a player, and they have somebody always sliding over. So you're taking away that layup that he has. Where
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but that midi for him is just so much easier. And then on the flip side, you watch Lou Dort and Brennan Ingram. All of Bi's shots are tough, like tough turnaround,
Yeah.
awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Like like Shea, whatever. There was a play where he had 3 players on him. There was JV, I think Trey Murphy, and then Herb
Yeah.
or CJ.
Yeah.
And he's sitting he's in the paint like dribbling the ball, and he just does a fadeaway. It's clean, comes off his fingers, smooth. Like it looks like it's his shot. Like this is
Yeah.
the shot that he does all the time.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
do it,
Full
and then you see it
season.
on when you see it on the flip side with Bi is known as a midi
Yeah.
assassin too. But his shots look like it's so forced. Like
Yeah.
these are not his spots. These are not his middies. Lou Dort is forcing him into these middies. Like Lou
Right.
Dort's like, we live with that. And if Shea knocks down 2 threes in the first half,
Night.
congrats, it's over because
Yeah.
now you have to step up on his 3 and he's just gonna blow by you.
Yeah.
So I just find that OKC team so impressive. Mike Dagnall is coaching a heck of a team. And everybody else is doing something. Isaiah Joe is the greatest 3-point shooter I've ever met in my life. He has the best form since Klay Thompson. That's my last point. But yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, Oklahoma, obviously you said a lot of points that everyone probably agrees with.
Yeah.
The thing for me is the reverse, like you said, the reverse of Orlando Magic. The moment is not looking too big for them. They had the 2 home games, which counts for something. So obviously they're not on the road, so it's gonna be like they're easing into it. Yesterday, I want to start off by this though, because Oklahoma deserves all the praise and stuff. But like CJ McCollum, the amount that you're getting paid, like you're it's like a number 1 option type of person. And yeah, you have BI too. And obviously preface it with Zion not being there, but like CJ is not, it doesn't step up. I feel like he's supposed to be their offensive leader at least. And it's like he's just breaking out there and he's just running back on defense. And it's like, I mean, if at all. And it's just like,
can I give a quick stat?
Yeah.
CJ McCollum has taken 15 threes. He's shooting 21%. Like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
so look, if you're shooting 40 and 42% from the last 2 games, I expect more than 20 points. That was the max. 15 was the yesterday night. So like, shoot your way to helping your team at least. So that's the thing. Like, they need to do something about that. I'm not saying, like just trade him away, this and that, but like they need to figure something out there. And I do, yeah, Brandon Ingram, like I think you said it the best. We were talking before also, like you said, it's a bad shot and a good shot. Like both mid-range
both are the same shot.
Mid-range takers, but it's like yeah, I forgot how you said it that yesterday night, where it was like about someone taking a good shot, someone taking a bad shot, making both of them, something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's the way the shot profile looks, the shot diet looks.
Yeah.
Like a Shea midi is not a tough midi to him because the midi, like it's some, like you can say aura or whatever, but the way he just gets into
smooth.
his thing,
yeah,
it's the same shot every time. It's the little jab step, the little half jab with the same foot where the ball is, and then he slides back. Same form every time. Lugenzo is literally pushing BI out of his spots, out of his rhythms. Stuff like that is where like it's like you see the discrepancy in a good tough shot taker and a bad tough shot taker.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Like for them, the Oklahoma is just like the moments the coach is keeping the shout out to like who I think is going to be coach of the year. He's keeping them all level headed. The moment's not too big. Even it's their first time in the playoffs, but they know like at the end of the day, like I guess CJ McCollum's been there. Ingram, like they've all kind of been there. Larry Nance, he's been on playoff teams. JV's been on playoffs teams, but it doesn't look like that. So it looks like Oklahoma is the first seed, like they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. And I do think if Zion was here, he would have thrown a wrench at Oklahoma.
100%.
Not like Oklahoma would be Oklahoma would be scared, but it's like I think you could have seen 1-1 right now because Zion is special. I feel like I'd give him credit for that. So it's unfortunate personnel wise, like their personnel versus Oklahoma's personnel. Oh, Shea's injury, like you said, is kind of helping them because they all kind of learned how to like putting Shea off ball is kind of like that's kind of crazy because he's so ball dominant, like the way his play style is. And guess what?
The point guard all season.
They've adjusted to it. And and look at like someone like Chet, like kudos to him. Like it's his first year playing, like full-time playing and everything like that.
Full 82
And
games.
and he's like this is the moment's not too big for him. Like he got the it factor. And the thing about Oklahoma, and I'm probably going to say this throughout this whole playoff series, however far they go and starting next year, like Shea is him, and you're seeing the maturity in his offensive game, and defensively he's no like, he's not someone you just step on either. J-Dub and Chet are such, they haven't even tapped the potential, even a little bit of their potential. They're just going with what the coach is telling them and the flow of the game. Let's follow Shea, our leader. But once they figure it out, this team's going to be insane. And I just hope they don't rush anything. But yeah, that's just like a long-term take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shout out to them. Let's see how they do on the road, which is a big test. I think they'll be good, but like, hey man,
first road playoff game is going to be tough.
Exactly. And Oklahoma crowd looked amazing, like we talked about before. Atmosphere amazing. So yeah, that's the Oklahoma City.
One last point I just want to make: if the Pelicans have 31 turnovers in 2 games,
yeah,
that's your series right there. Have a good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like crazy. Just so many dumb mistakes from even yesterday. Like that game was so bad. They were like plus 15 in turnovers.
Right.
Like if you're gonna do that, that's gonna be this series for you. I think that series is over.
And that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next series we should get into is the Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks series. Now that one is looking interesting because there's so many faces, so many names in this series, so many superstars, future Hall of Famers, whatever you want to say. So that's why it's such a blockbuster look. It's Luka versus the Clippers again. That's another, quote unquote rivalry for Luka's playoff career at least. And first game, I think the game plan was so good for the Clippers. They came out strong. The defense was amazing because they bothered them so much. Like it was like what like Luka and Kyrie on your team and you're shooting what percentage? So it was just kind of like a blowout in the first half, and by the second half it was like, even though Kyrie did that crazy like comeback in a way, but it wasn't enough. And they played without Kawhi, which was pretty crazy, right? Because everyone's saying if Kawhi doesn't play, then Dallas is like not cakewalking, but winning the series probably.
Favored for sure.
Yeah, favored. So yeah, but then game 2, like they kind of flipped the script. And funny enough, it's been a low scoring series. I feel like that's the vibe. It's like, it's kind of like old school NBA in a way, and with all this offensive talent. And man, no, Luka, like he was not going down 0-2. And to take a home game from them is actually a really big deal. Like this, I think the series is gonna go back and forth a lot. And the thing is, like when Kyrie is doing his thing, and Kyrie's his playing style is amazing. He's still playing amazing, but he's kind of being a leader though, I feel like, for these Dallas Mavericks, the young players especially. And so that's the thing. Kawhi looked good. The thing about it though is, my thing is Paul George. Like, is he hurt or something? No, I don't think so. So I don't know what happens with him, but he kind of just fades out. Like last night, or sorry, the night before, whenever they played, it kind of felt like a regular season game. Like the way it was going, until Luka went on that explosion and started talking his crap to the fans, and just like, it became a playoff game all of a sudden. But honestly, it felt like, you want to take this win? You want to take this win? And as a part of it was Paul George. Like, dude, where are you? Come on, like you can take this game. The game was there for the taking. And that's the thing. Like, I think another thing was Brody. Like Westbrook was playing really good at during that one sprout during the second half, like in the fourth, I think. And then all of a sudden he sits down because Ty Lue. I was gonna mention that. Yeah. So he just takes him out, and then it's just like one guy who had the fire playing. He was blocking people and everything like that. Just that energy to like kind of shift the momentum your way. That was like, you just took him out. Harden, missed. He got his own shot on him. Like that was just tough. Other than that, it was weird in that sense. And then Luka, it's like Luka's like, oh, this game's for the taking, let me just take it. So, and he did it. He closed the game out. Kawhi, he looked good, honestly. Like he didn't look like he's just injured. He's coming back from injury. You could tell he just needs to warm up, I feel like, because he's always just, like the Terminator. He's gonna lock back in. He just needs reps. So what about you? What's your takeaway?
So that first game, honestly, was such a surprise to me because Kawhi was out and PG had a bad game, and the the Clippers were won by 20 before like fourth quarter,
Yeah.
end of game comebacks or whatever. Um, but the game plan was, which Tyloo said. Tyloo loves mismatch hunting. He said, "We're gonna go at Luca. We're gonna find Luca every time. Harden, you're gonna go at Luca, and then we're gonna. That's how we're gonna orchestrate our offense. Going at Luca, make him tired on defense,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked. And in the second game, Luca said, "Nah, bun all that. I'm play defense," which has been my biggest gripe with him was you can't play defense. You're 6'7", play defense, and he
Yep.
played outside. He had like 2 blocks in the first half last night or
Yep.
2 nights ago. He was playing crazy defense. I will say this though. You mentioned it with Paul George. Uh Paul George is just one of those players, especially at this point in his career, where like you
Mm-hmm.
just can't look forward to how like you can't be confident in having a good Paul George game anymore. You just can't
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if Kawhi Leonard is going to play like he did, he's hurt and he's rusty and he's trying to get back into the swing of things, you're just. I feel like their offense just went so out of sorts when Kawhi came back.
Mm-hmm.
Like Paul George didn't know what he was doing anymore. Kawhi didn't. Kawhi's like, dude, I can't even move right now. Y'all play, but nobody wants to step on each other's toes. James
Right.
Harden kind of took a step back. The only reason why that game was close is because there was like a 6 minute stretch or 6 minute stretch or 8 minute stretch at the end of the third quarter going into the fourth. I think something like that. They're up like 84-81, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just because of Brody. Like Brody just went like
Yeah.
get the ball, go downhill, and be aggressive. And they punch all of them in the mouth, and they
Yeah.
went crazy. They're playing great defense because Brody. I told this to y'all, but I feel like Brody's a really good matchup on Luca. Even though like nobody can guard Luca, I get it, but I think Brody's probably the best on this team that can go 48 minutes with Luca.
Match the energy at
Yeah,
least.
match the
Yeah.
energy because
Yeah.
he plays like it's a game 7 every night,
Every night. Yeah.
and then so Tylo does this weird thing with his rotations where he'll have just Plumlee playing like stretches of like 10-minute stretches for no reason, like
Yeah.
the Mavericks don't abuse their bigs like that. They don't. They like Gafford and Derek Lively are great players, but like Zubac is more than enough to counteract that. And if they want to play small ball, they can play small ball. But with Plumlee playing small ball is such a bad mismatch.
Yeah.
It's such a bad mismatch with Plumlee and Maxi Kleber. If you put in Maxi Kleber, you put in Plumlee. I think Plumlee is a really bad mismatch with Maxi because Maxi can just stretch the floor.
Yeah.
We saw it the other night where
And
he
hit
hit
the
those two
clutch three.
threes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he hit those threes.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the others, this is Dallas's main thing. It's been like this for years. Look, if PJ Washington's going to give you 15 a game, you're gonna win some games.
Yeah.
But is he going to give you 15 a game?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the main question. And then with the Clippers, it's the same thing. Is Paul George going to play well? Is James Harden going to play well? We don't know. And now we don't even know if Kawhi Leonard is going to play well because we don't know how healthy he is at this point.
That's the thing.
You
Like,
know?
that's the thing. Like, is there a question of like, did they rush him back? Like, just play 1 and 2, and you won the first game, so maybe like just more shots for Paul George and James Harden and everybody, and then it's like because Kawhi's like him, so he can just come
Yeah.
back and insert himself in. I did feel like, for example, there was a lot of times where PJ Washington was guarding him, and it's like to me it was like yeah, he's on an island against Kawhi Leonard. So like maybe you could use him for later on, if not rest the series. I doubt that you can rest him in the series because Dallas is gotta get respect from Dallas. They're that good. And Kyrie and Luka are both nuclear weapons they can just go off for like 30-40 in a playoff game. So that's the thing. I think it's gonna be more, it's kind of like a teeter-totter series as well.
It's gonna be back and forth, yeah.
But it's just like Clippers have two infamously not the best playoff performers on that team, but they're like James Harden's all-time great, but in the playoffs, and then Paul George. But then again, right now James is not being expected to be that scoring crazy wing whatever player, but Paul George definitely is, and it's like like, come on, dude, can't be
Do
Tobias Harris
something.
out there, man. Like, he was ghost. He was just ghost. I feel like, and it's like,
Literally, he was so
what do you
ghost.
need to do? Lock back in, man. And
I don't know what he does. Like, I honestly don't know what he does
that's the
well
thing.
anymore.
And the thing is, like, speaking of ghosts, someone who is never a ghost, and his team is now 2-0 against the Phoenix Suns, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards.
Good transition.
Wow. Oh my
I
god.
told y'all this is my biggest. I told y'all this series is not gonna be as close as we expected. I get it. The Suns won the season series over them. Blah blah blah. They are the number 1 rated defense, and by far for
And
a
it's
reason.
real defense.
The
Holy.
craziest. Let me give you the craziest stat. When Rudy Gobert goes to the bench, they are still the number 1 defense in the NBA. That is how insane they are.
Yeah.
They are playing this full court pressure defense.
Yeah.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Anthony Edwards, and Jaden McDaniels are picking you up full court. And these guys are all young. They don't care. They have the amount of energy they have. They don't care. They're going to keep running after you. They're playing you full court. So Suns are going to have to set picks in the back court and, try to get somebody swinged open, this, that. And they're just bullying. They're just honestly physically bullying them. The refs are swallowing the whistles a little bit. I'll give you some pushback on that point, because people have been saying, like, Jaden McDaniels is kind of just beating up players. He's just beating up players, but it's like, this is the playoffs, man. We're gonna get physical, and the Timberwolves are physical. That's what they do. So, and then on the flip side, it's been the same problem with the Suns all season. Even last year, it's this ISO, do whatever you want offense. Oh, go beat him. Go take him one-on-one and score.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's bad. And you can't expect Kevin Durant to still be your best player in 2024. Is Devin Booker going to do anything? How many times does this guy get embarrassed in playoffs consistently?
That's
and you can't have another $50 million player, Bradley Beal, out having 14 points per game. That's not how that works. That's not why you got him. You need everybody at 20 plus, and you have 2 people who are not.
So that's the thing. There's that clip of Devin Booker going, like, with all due respect, who's gonna guard us? Like, when it comes into and the perimeter and all that stuff.
Nobody can guard us.
Nobody can guard us. And it's like, you guys are guarding yourselves by missing your shots like that. And the defense is amazing. But honestly, though, how many ISO plays are you gonna run? And I do feel like this whole year, like, Devin Booker point guard, that's not a thing. I don't think it should have been a thing. If you're limiting Devin Booker's game, and you're handicapped. You're playing handicap. That's pretty much what you're doing. And Bradley Beal, I don't know, like, what's going on with his, like, is it an injury? Does he just lost his every step, not just first step? And Kevin Durant's gonna get his, but it's like, is it impactful? It's kind of crazy, because Kevin Durant is an all-time great. We never obviously think anything less of that, obviously. Like, whatever take you may have of his legacy and this and that. But it's weird to think, like did somebody is actually, like, guarding him and bothering him? But you know what's funny, Ushmoy? This is not new, and I think you're probably thinking it too. The Boston series, when he's in the net, they get swept. Then and this series, like, what you said about, like, like, maybe Jaden McDaniels is kind of being physical and aggressive on him, but that never used to be a, like, bother. He's Kevin Durant, you know who he is, but he doesn't look like that, it's not translating anymore. And I guess maybe he's having to play defense on the other side, because what defender do they have?
On the flip side, it's what the Minnesota Timberwolves is. The name of the game of the playoffs is rim pressure. You got to get to the rim, and that's all they're doing. They're sprinting to the rim. Yeah. They're literally they're saying, we're more athletic than you, and you have Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, good luck
in the paint. That's gonna try to deter me. Okay, thanks. I'm running to the paint.
Yeah,
and I always tell you guys this. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, teams are gonna live with your middies. Teams don't care. They're living with the middies.
Yeah,
because it doesn't help. It doesn't factor in anything. When you have rim pressure, you're gonna draw contact. You're gonna generate fouls. You're gonna slow down the game. You're gonna bang bodies. Everyone's gonna get tired. When you have good 3-point shooting, you're stretching the floor, you're getting more ISO opportunities, and threes are just more than 2.
Yeah.
When you're taking middies and you're taking these, and everybody on your team takes tough middies, OKC is one thing where one or two people take tough middies, everybody else shoots threes, and everybody else crashes the paint. But with the Suns, it's none of these guys, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant, none of them apply rim pressure. All they do is get to that 15 feet. They go from 26 to 15 feet. That's where they operate.
Yeah,
which is a godsend for Rudy Gobert because he could just like sit there.
That's his zone
for his rest of his life.
Yeah.
So when you do that, it just doesn't account towards winning. It just doesn't help you. And when the Minnesota Timberwolves look at everybody, they have 6 players over double digits.
Mm-hmm.
They're just Anthony Towns is even having a great season. A great playoff series.
You know what's funny to me to point out? When the game 2 started, Towns was guarding Durant. Like that's how they started the matchups. And I was like, interesting take.
They had a few matchups with Rudy Gobert on Durant. Like they're just like, you don't throw whoever on him. It doesn't matter. We don't care.
Because we know what our defensive scheme is. As long as everybody plays the scheme right, we should be fine. And the Phoenix Suns honestly are just beating themselves. Like I feel like they're just gassing themselves up. Now we're gonna see them at home, and it's like, oh, Udoy, well, they're gonna be home now. You expect them to get a game, right? Yeah, I saw that last year. And honestly, when they went on that explosion last year against the Nuggets, where it was like 80% from the field, all that stuff.
He turned into Michael Jordan. You're not gonna lose.
You're telling me that's sustainable? Like, come on. And you're versing Minnesota Timberwolves.
I guess
defense. Like, we're known for defense. We're not gonna go bucket for bucket. Like Jaden McDaniels doing that was crazy. It was cool. But like, I bet they didn't expect it. I bet Minnesota didn't even expect that. But like, that's the thing. Like, you're just gonna gas themselves out. We're just waiting, and then we're gonna attack. Like, and Anthony Edwards is just gonna go off. Maybe Cat's gonna have a game. Who knows? But like, it's just like I feel like Phoenix didn't address anything. If anything, they're just like, let's buy in more.
They doubled down on what makes them what they did last season.
Yeah,
funny anomaly. The Minnesota Timberwolves literally play like a pack of wolves on defense. Yeah. They have the craziest rotations I've ever seen in my life. They be flying around. Yeah. There's just one play where I think like whoever had the ball, he did a turnover in the paint, and then Phoenix gets out of transition. Devin Booker has the ball, he's running. There's 4 Minnesota Wolves just like surrounding him already in transition. The way they play defense is they're all track stars who just know how to rotate, know how to recover. It's the most insane defense I've seen.
No, it's true. Like, no, that's crazy. And so I think the series is it's going the way. I mean, you were saying it was gonna be like 4 or 5 or something. Like boom.
Yeah, I said 5 games. Yeah,
like slap in the face, like punch in the face, and they're not gonna get up. And let's see if if Kevin Durant is who we all think he is. And if Devin Booker,
it's more so Devin Booker, man. Who the hell are you? Are you a man or a mouse, Book? Are you a man or a mouse? Which one are you?
Like because you have the talent, but I feel like this is a reoccurring theme.
It's gonna be the 4th year in a row that you've done this.
And like that's the thing. At the same time, you're the best shooting guard in the league, but at the same time, playoff success, and you can't find any. Like in that sense. So. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You guys have all these. Like, you have buckets, but like they're not. I don't see any. So yeah, and guys, that's all the playoff series we have for today.
No, we still got one more. We still got one more.
Yeah, no,
got our favorite one. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know, man. Let's just get into this one. Okay, you know what's funny? I was thinking about this series, and then the game 2 happened, and I lost like everything because. You could have points on like this is what we're doing, this is what the Lakers are doing right, and this is what they can do better. And then after Jamal Murray hits the shot, and it's like, scratch that. Just like that's it. The paper like to.
I'll tell you guys this. I literally after that loss, I turned off my phone. I didn't turn it back on till 12 o'clock the next day. I literally didn't take my phone to work. Like I couldn't even like look at it. Yeah. That's how demoralizing that loss was, man.
Let me say this,
you go ahead. You first. Yeah.
Let me say this, okay? Because we're talking about the first 2 games, right? So I did have like notes on it where it's like game 1, first half felt like a feel out round. It honestly, and obviously, as like if you're invested as a Lakers fan, or even I guess for the Nuggets, it's like it's not a rivalry, but it's like it feels like something's there. So
Yeah.
feel out round, right? LeBron was good. You know, he hit that three at the buzzer at the end of the first half. It was looking good. I feel like I'm just gonna word vomit here. Austin Reeves, I remember offensively, both games, it's been like, bro, where are you? But I think his assignment is to guard Jamal Murray, just chase him around the same way he had to chase Desmond Bane around in that Memphis series last year.
Yeah.
And like he chases, right? Like
Yeah.
in the Golden State series, whatever, like Steph Curry or whoever, like take turns.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing his like assignment. AD in the first game was getting bossed by DeAndre Jordan in 2024. I was like, what the heck is happening here? Like, and then he finishes the game strong, whatever the case may be. But that's what I remembered. And so, okay, that was Anthony Davis. Then game 2, bro, like we saw the best player in the league all of a sudden. And it wasn't Jokic. We saw Anthony Davis. He was just like crazy. And it's funny because I think in the fourth quarter or like the second half, he was the one who could have won us the game. Because I think LeBron, that second half of the game 1, he just gassed out. He was gone.
Yeah,
died.
He was dead.
Like
because they matched the minutes with Jokic and he died.
Yeah, that was all. Like it turned out it was a horrible plan. But AD kept us, like he stayed us in the game, kept us in the game, and we lost. Like, okay, and then because Jokic is the best player, he makes the most clutch plays down the stretch. Boom, done. Then like, okay, so I'm just kind of summarizing game 1, and we go into game 2. You're up 20 points. AD masterclass, like 10 out of 10 on sofa score. You know, if this was a basketball edition, he is doing what I think we were all thinking about, kind of attack Jokic and make him shuffle his feet, like just like boom, boom, boom. And then on the other end, defense, like one-on-one, you know, like you guard Jokic.
Straight up. Yeah.
And it was like, this is great. Anthony Davis is the number 1 option. Everything is flowing well. Then what happened? Oh, Jokic is the best best player in the world. Jamal Murray, playoff Jamal, whatever you want to call it. Bro, he went in, I think, with 6-7 points into the fourth or something.
Yeah.
He ended the game and he scored like 14 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
Like that was crazy, including like the like probably the greatest shot in Nuggets history at this point. Like and obviously how poetic it is because Anthony Davis game 2 in the bubble.
Yeah.
Now it's just like it sucks because now we're on the other side of it, and it was just crazy. LeBron, this fourth quarter, he stepped up. He went crazy. I thought it was gonna be LeBron virtuoso. We're gonna remember this for like his career, his legacy.
Yeah.
The defense, at age 39, he deflects the pass because he got Murray. He got him.
Yeah.
He dunks it. What happens right after? I think this was the play. This was the one. This was the one.
Where we lost.
Jokic running. He does some flailing shot, some weird shit.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves, get the rebound. Somebody get the rebound.
No,
let the ball go out.
Rui is standing in the corner 3 like he's on the Nuggets team.
Yeah.
Jokic is in the paint, and Michael Porter Jr. is at the 45. Austin Reeves is marking somebody, but Michael Porter Jr. is right there. What the hell is Rui Hachimura doing right there?
No,
he's literally playing for the Nuggets right there.
For the Nuggets, yeah. And then the ball goes to Aaron Gordon, big guy, out muscles Reeves, I think, gives it to MPJ. A heart shot right through the heart, through the skull. Every bullet through everything. I think that was the one, because you're up 3. LeBron just dunked it on Jamal Murray. Nobody talked about that, obviously, because there's nothing to talk about there. Yeah. No, he postered him. He posterized him. We'll never remember that play, because right after MPJ did that, and then okay, so let's go down to that last play right there. KCP falls. Now, like LeBron's like, oh, got a 3. Honestly, I was
live with that.
Yeah, like you have to take that shot. There's like 11 or 14 seconds left. He could have drove and probably tried to just lay it up, waste time, whatever. But you know what? It's an open shot. You either
he
make it or miss it.
He hit 2 threes before that, to make the game back.
Yeah,
you live with that. It's a wide open Bron 3. He's shooting 41% of this. You live with it.
But the thing I want to say here is then they get the rebound. Jokic, and I think he did it like a play or 2 before. They give the ball to Murray after the rebound. Jokic is like flailing his hands. He's just telling everyone to clear out. It's gonna be a pick, and this guy from Kitchener is gonna shoot the ball, and whatever happens. Like leadership, the plays, like Jokic just like that's the thing. I know this is Jamal Murray's moment, but I feel like Jokic just be like, if you don't think he's the best player, like I don't care about is he a two-way player, this that, like the leadership, the IQ this guy has, and he just like boom boom, Jamal Murray, night, like it was just like what a moment for the Nuggets. Shout out to them, they are the like best team. But I think we know all these points that I just kind of summarized, and people have been talking about it for like whatever days. They're about to play game 3 in an hour or so. But my thing is this: are the Lakers out of it, you think? Or it's like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, can they get a game? Because at this point, after that, like, oh, I forgot to say this: D'Lo had a virtuoso.
He had
Well,
seven threes.
I
He
can't
had
ask for
seven
more.
threes.
I
I can't
cannot
ask
ask
for
for more.
anymore.
Like, that was the perfect game, and they said, "Cool, watch this." And now it's like,
So
yeah, go on. So yeah,
okay. So the first 2 games of the series, first game, I wasn't mad about it. You know, like we're gonna lose. I mean, like we lost. It
right.
happens. You
They're
know, this,
home.
that, whatever. Right?
Yeah,
Then they're a better team. They're the second seed. They're a better team than us. Game 2, man. I don't think I've ever been more demoralized in a loss ever in my life since like 2011 game 6. You know what I mean? Like, like,
yeah,
so the Lakers have this problem, and this is the only team you can't have this problem with. Whereas even AD mentioned it, they just go on a 5 to 7 minute stretch where
yeah,
they just completely forget how to play basketball.
yeah.
They don't know what they're shooting. They don't know what they're playing defense.
What the
They don't know
plays
what
are?
plays to run.
Yeah,
They don't know how to do nothing. And you just can't do that against the Nuggets. You have to play a perfect game. You have to get contributions from everybody. Like
yeah,
Reeves and Rui Hachimura are in my starting lineup. At the end of the game right there, we watched it. It was 99 or whatever it was, or something like
yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Rui had a wide open 3, clanked it.
Clank.
Reeves had a wide open 3, clanked it. Then Braun hit back-to-back threes and then had a wide open 3, then clanked it. Like you have to execute down the stretch. Even LeBron was talking about it in his presser this morning. Like, there's not really, you can't really talk about anything else. We're outplaying them
Yeah,
for 2 straight games.
yeah.
No, okay. Ignore game
yeah,
1. Ignore game 1. They beat us fair and square this time. Game 2, we outplayed them. Even if they
right.
made a comeback, comebacks happen in the NBA. We outplayed
Yeah,
them the entire game.
yeah,
Besides that 5-minute stretch where we forget how to play basketball, and that's been the story all season. And it's not like it's transferring over to the playoffs. And if we're gonna keep doing that, we're gonna get swept. Can we
yeah.
get a game? We should already have a game.
We should be 1-1
We
going
should
to
be
the Staples,
1-1,
going
man.
to crypto, whatever. Yeah,
So we have to take care of business at home tonight. If tonight is a game 7, if we lose, it's over. I don't even want to talk about them anymore. Darvin Ham has no clue what he's doing as a coach. I swear to God, he has no clue what he's doing at times.
yeah,
He just starts the plays that he calls or whatever he's telling these guys. He just has no idea how to set up the offense, what
yeah,
his defensive principles are. I don't understand what the like. We're playing
yeah,
such great games, and then we just go
yeah.
flat. And I
It's
don't know
weird.
why we keep doing that. We just keep
The
going
whole
flat.
season,
We keep playing these games.
Yeah,
And then if you want to go to X and O standpoint, the only X and O thing I can give you is in the first half, all the way through until halfway through the third quarter. Jokic was guarding AD. That was the matchup. And LeBron said, okay, bring him, pick and roll, pick
pick
and
and
roll,
roll.
pick and
Yeah,
roll. We're just
and
going to score. That's how we got a 20-point lead. It
yep.
ballooned like crazy. Jokic got switched on to Rui, and AD was being guarded by Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
And the Lakers, I don't know whose call it was. I don't know if it was Braun's call or Darvin's call or Phil Handy's call. They literally said, okay, we're going to keep going on Jokic, but Rui Hachimura is screening. Rui Hachimura is a net negative on offense right now. The Nuggets are not going to care. They're just going to commit to Braun.
yeah,
So and then AD got 0 shots in the fourth. Like, you're not winning the game. He has 32 points in the game. He would have finished with 40. He literally would have finished with 40. Like,
I'm
you
telling you,
have
10
to
out of
give your
10
best.
performance, bro.
You have to give your best player the ball, and I'm not blaming that on AD. That's not an AD issue.
Yeah.
He's not the ball handler. That's
Yeah.
a Braun, D'Lo, Reeves, and Darvin Ham problem.
Yeah. No, and
And
this
it's
is the
been like
thing.
that this entire season.
This is the thing, okay?
It's not new.
If LeBron goes to the bench too, that whole thing happens
Yeah.
too, where they all forget how to play because that's when it
Yeah.
happened too. LeBron had to sit.
Yeah.
And I understand the whole AD foul trouble thing because he had 4 fouls and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh God. But the thing is, even if you sit him, then you bring him back and he has 4 fouls. So maybe he still guarded him, but it's like, yo, be careful, right? But he's not even getting touches on the other side. So
that's go ahead.
So no, that's the thing. He's not getting touches on the other side. If LeBron goes to the bench, why isn't D'Lo doing pick and roll with AD? Like I don't even remember seeing it once. Like, and then all of a sudden D'Lo is now cooled off because you're just not gonna give him the chances to be him anymore. So that's the thing. And my thing is this: people would be like, LeBron, it could be LeBron's fault too. Like he's the ball handler. Call the play. Why are you waiting for the coach to call the play? But the thing is, when you're in the moment of the game, like maybe you're just not seeing okay, whatever.
Also,
happens,
you're gonna go to your scheme that this coach is giving you. You're gonna go to it because that's the scheme.
So why isn't the coach saying anything too? Like, did he not say like, hey guys, pick and roll, just set a screen, easy bucket. Like,
still go to AD. Just go to AD. Even if Jokic is playing, Jokic help side defense doesn't matter. It's useless on AD.
Honestly, the way AD was playing, Aaron Gordon can be stronger and this and that. It doesn't matter. AD, I trust him. If he misses 3, the way he played in the first half, if he misses 5 shots in a row, like we go to him for 5 shots in a row, I'm giving him the 6th because he's just feeling it tonight. It just felt like that. The crowd's not bothering him. Nothing is bothering him. Anyone can be in front of him. It's literally like the flip side when I said the whole DeAndre Jordan thing. So, like the joke. But like that's the thing. Like there is no X and O's anymore. I don't even think the refs the whole foul stuff. Like it doesn't matter. You're up 20, win the game. Like that's all that is to it. Just win the game. It's a win or lose. Like right now, it's just that. Honestly, this series comes down to
today's game 7.
Yeah, the series comes down to exactly everything is like it's all wiped out. It's like game you treat it as a game 7 or game 1, but if you lose, you're out. Like that's it. Like so that's the thing for that.
I will say though, the only like the point that you made about like the foul trouble and stuff like that with AD. This is my only thing with this team, which I feel like nobody else wants to talk about. It's the fact that this team goes off of their offense. If their offense is humming, their defense is humming. They're an offensive-oriented team. I said this in the first episode. They are an offensive-oriented team. When their offense isn't humming, isn't actually playing to their best of their abilities, their defense dwindles. I don't really have an issue on the defensive end with this team. It's more so those lapses of 5 to 7 minutes where we forget to play offense.
That's the thing. They're so good offensively, but they just randomly 5 minutes, 6 minutes. The graphic comes up and you're just like, wait, AD has 32 points, but we haven't scored in 5 minutes. Like what the math is not mathing. So like what's going on? And that's the thing. They're the best team in the league. I think they're better than Boston. They're better than everyone, like whatever people may say. OKC or Boston, regular season wise, they're the best team. Jokic is the best player. MPJ, they're kind of like, it's funny. It's like, like the total, like Man City, like they're just every position is dominant, and it's not dominant as in everyone is the best center, best point guard, best thing in the league, but they all play so well together. Mike Malone has a coaching advantage. It gives them the coaching advantage, so like he's coaching. And I don't know what's going on the other side. Like there was even that like foul on LeBron to Jamal Murray when he drove. It's like, why aren't we challenging that play? But like, again, there's a lot of there's those little moments that probably could win you a game. Mike Malone challenged everything and won all the challenges last game. So like, I don't know, but it's just engagement and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a very do or die situation. It's so weird because the thing that I guess stings is that it's not like they just slap them every time. The game always comes down to
always close. It's always close.
Literally, we talk about we made a prayer and all that stuff. It's because it happens every time. We're up 4 or we're down 1, and it's like we get the ball. It's not like they're hitting everything, and it's like Nah, we're just
But
gonna execute better than you and win.
and it's not. It's but it's
GG.
they're not out executing us. We aren't even executing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's on us. It's literally
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just on us. That's the only thing. There's
yeah,
no external talk here, nothing like that.
yeah,
It's are you guys gonna be able to replay a full 48-minute game of basketball?
yeah. And you guys have the game. Just close the game. But
They can only play
yeah.
that's it.
Anyways, so that's our first two games summaries for all the series. We hopefully you guys all enjoyed that, and yeah, we're gonna obviously be back for more playoff summaries, and yeah, like let's tell us in the comments on what you think, how each series is going, if you think the Lakers can win it all, and yeah.
One last point. NFL draft today. Saints. I hate y'all. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Okay, follow the Ridgeway Pod on all of our
Yeah.
socials. Please hit that subscribe button. I think we're over 50 subscribers now. Let's go.
Trying to get to 100.
Let's go. Get us to 100, and then keep showing us that support, and we'll keep posting because we love to talk sports, as you can see. So yeah, see you next time on the Ridgeway Pod. Peace.
Have a good night. Peace.